Okay. Mr. Cantrud.
Would you like a comment, Madam Mayor?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. One of the things that's telling, Madam Mayor, from your quote from the case that you mentioned was governing body in that Regent's case. And the committee that you're talking about, or the panel, would not be a governing body. And you could take this analogy all the way through to the Planning Commission and to many other of the standing committees that you have. You know, those arguably aren't subject to the open meeting law either, because none of those bodies actually make decisions. They're recommenders of things to the city council.
Okay, so then there's no problem with them sending all their emails back and forth to each other and...
I'm just telling you that's not typically the practice. You take a search committee like this, and you specifically as a council said you want this subject to the open meeting law. That's fine. And then it became, can we talk about the questions in private? So a body that would otherwise be subject to the open meeting law, it's my assessment, given that this is technically labor negotiations, you have charged them with coming up with questions. So under my read of the statute, and I'm just begging to differ with your analysis, I do believe that it falls under the discussions of the qualifications and whatnot under that exception to the general rule that a meeting would have to stay open. And that's why I wrote my opinion the way I did. And that's what this resolution says. So that I would call out as your justification for calling that meeting to be closed coming up.
Okay. And then does it make any difference that we appointed this body to be an advisory body?
What do you mean by,
since they're
does
a
it make
public body? Since we appointed them to be an advisory body, does that make any difference?
I don't think so, based on the subject matter of what's being done and the power of that body to make a decision. They don't have any power to make a decision. They're not a governing body. They're not spending public dollars. They're not doing anything like that. They're simply offering, they're an advisory panel to you.
Okay. Okay, very good then.
Next time, to avoid conflict, we can have them draw straws instead of appointing them, then there won't be any topic to discuss.
Is there, Mr. Nephew has suggested submitting it to iPad. Does anyone want to do that?
Oh, screw iPad. The worthless bureaucrats. I mean, Jesus Lord.
All right.
If I had to see that lady in this room one more time when we saw it 2 years ago, I would have gone nuts. Worthless
Too late.
bureaucrat.
Can we call the question, please?
Okay, very good. Are you making a motion to that, Ms. Juniman?
There was a motion on the table, actually. There was a motion on the table.
No, then you've got to make a motion if you want to call a question. But I will indeed ask for the vote. Mayor's first to vote. Mayor votes no. Ms. Juniman?
Aye.
Mr. Jelly?
Aye.
Mr. Rossbach?
Aye.
Mr. Nephew?
Aye.
Okay. And with that, then, let's see, we have one last item then, and that is consider the approval of the MCC catering contracts. Ms. Guilfoyle.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Members of the council, as you are aware, in October, the City Council authorized us to proceed with requests for proposals for food catering services for the community center. We were very happy that we did get 8 proposals that we did look at. We implemented in this proposal the same percentages of revenues from gross sales, but we did add a food minimum for our wedding events and those types and other types of events at $15 per person. We were very pleased with the ones that we did get, and after review, we are suggesting and recommending Classic Catering, Cane's Catering, and also Soup du Jour as the 3 caterers, and that would be effective January 1 for a 3-year period. The agreements would have cancellation clauses in them as the current ones do, and would be written just like the ones that we have now in place, but it would include that $15 per person minimum for weddings. Madam Mayor?
Good, thank you very much. Any questions for Ms. Guilfoyle? And then these contracts will take effect on the first of the year?
January 1st, Madam Mayor, and then those individuals that have booked events for 2009 will still take care of their events that they've already signed agreements for.
Okay, very good.